In a world full of distractions, deep work is a superpower you didn't know you had. Well, I've spent weeks studying the top performers in their fields, and today I reveal the key deep work tricks that top performers use to find success in a world full of distraction, common mistakes that make it hard for people to achieve deep work, and an example of a deep work routine you can use to increase your focus. But first, what is deep work and why is it so powerful? Cal Newport, a professor at Georgetown University, proposed the idea in his book, Deep Work Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. By Cal's definition, deep work is a professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that pushes one's cognitive abilities to the limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skills, and are hard to replicate. The ability to do deep work in today's economy is your superpower because deep work is increasingly valuable and increasingly rare. It's valuable because when you produce something great in a hyper-connected world, it can spread to billions of people. Producing something valuable is important to stand out among the noise and avoid being forgotten by the flood of information that we consume on a daily basis. Think about your last TikTok, how quickly it was forgotten. Deep work is becoming increasingly rare because deep work requires undivided attention and the world is being filled with more and more tempting distractions. See, distraction can be anything. It all starts with a ping sound notification in your iPhone notifying you that someone replied to your tweet on Twitter or someone liked your photo on Instagram. It can be a friend inviting you to a concert, a notification, or an email. As you can see, the number of distractions is endless. It's not enough to try to ignore these distractions. We are hardwired to be distracted and pay attention to novelty. A 2012 study led by the psychologist Wilhelm Hoffman and Roy Baumeister involving 205 adults found that we are only able to resist temptations to take a break from work, check your email, surf the internet, or watch TV just 50% of the time. But the good news is you can build the skill of deep work and escape the trap of constant distraction, therefore separating yourself from the pack, making you indispensable in today's economy. If you have ever tried concentrating on something for long periods, you probably know that it is exhausting. It takes time, it takes energy, and it takes willpower. The best way to teach yourself deep work while using as little willpower as possible is to make it a habit. Set a regular time block every day to focus on deep work. But when is the best time to practice deep work? Cal Newport recommends that the best time to do deep work is in the morning from 9 a.m. to midday. That's when your mind is functioning at its best. Cal states that beginners can go for 1 hour while experts can go for 4 hours. But what if you can't focus for 4 or even 1 hour? Don't worry. A life hack that will help you improve your focus and complete tasks is the Pomodoro technique. It is a small change to Cal Newport's deep work. And in fact, it's something that I use daily. Here is how it works. 1. Pick a task. Prepare your environment and get rid of distractions. 2. Work for 25 minutes without interruption. 3. Take a 5-minute break as a reward. 4. Repeat the cycle 4 times. 5. Take a long break after. The beautiful thing about this technique is that it takes a big project and breaks it down into small, less scary chunks. It's also beneficial because you know exactly how long you should be working, so you can commit fully to the task during that window. I remember the first time I started learning programming. Staying focused was one of the most challenging parts. I'd sit down to write code, but if I hit a problem, I'd quickly end up scrolling through TikTok and watching YouTube videos. So I tried a new approach. I set short distraction-free blocks of 20 minutes where I would only work on one thing. At first, those 20 minutes felt painfully long, especially when I got stuck. But with daily practice, I was able to increase my daily focus to 1 hour, then 2 hours, and finally a total of 3 hours and 25 minutes. I found myself solving problems faster and getting the hang of programming. Remember, deep work is a skill and it can be trained. But setting time for deep work isn't enough. Research has shown that your productivity is directly tied to how efficient your workspace is. Most of us assume that small changes like better lighting or cleaning your space are enough. But deep work requires you to structure your environment correctly so that deep work becomes easier for you to do in the first place. Cal Newport suggests having a dedicated place where you only go to do your deep work. These can be places like the conference room, the library, or an office in your home. Separating your location this this way will cement the habit of deep work more strongly, because over time, your brain will associate this location with deep work and you'll more likely enter into a focused state of mind. But one big question remains: how do you keep distractions out of your space? Because even the best setup can't save you from the little things that sneak in and pull away your focus. A few weeks ago, when I found myself struggling with distraction, I decided to do what many people advised and got rid of distracting technology. I got myself a flip phone without any apps. All I had was access to phone calls and text messages. Unfortunately, I found I still got distracted. I'd start doing the dishes, I'd tidy up my desk, I'd take out the trash even, just to avoid the thing that I didn't want to do. Then I discovered that I had only focused on external triggers, which in my case was my smartphone, that was causing me to get distracted. What I had not focused on is what turns out to be the most common source of distraction: the internal triggers, the uncomfortable emotional state that we seek to escape. When we are lonely, we check social media. When we are unsure, we Google. When we are bored, we scroll through the news or sports scores. Anything not to feel uncomfortable feelings that we are not ready to experience. Here are a few techniques that I discovered in my journey that can help us stay on track. The first one is to schedule time to use social media and email. So, distraction has many effects. When someone is interrupted during a task, it can take up to 20 minutes for them to refocus on what they were doing. And most times, we don't even realize how much worse our output is when we are disrupted. So, check email in one solid block. If you enjoy social media, that's great, but make time for it in your day so that you don't use it every time you feel bored or lonely. Carl suggests using social media or checking emails only after deep work. The second thing is to plan your day, but not with a to-do list. 2/3 of people don't keep a calendar in their day. Well, the bad news is, if you don't plan your day, somebody is going to plan it for you. I used to think that just by writing things down, they'd get done. But of course, I'd go from day to day recycling the bottom half of my to-do list because I wasn't making time to do those tasks. So the best way to start is not with the output of what you want to get done, but with input of how much time you have to devote to the task. Alright, you got your essentials down. Your deep work space is set up, distractions are handled, and you know what deep work is all about. Now, it's time to bring it all together and build a routine that works for you. Let me walk you through the routine that helped me, and you'll see how you can create yours to fit your needs. My deep work routine has 4 elements: the location, that is where we'll be doing the deep work; the duration, how much time I'll be spending; the structure, what will be happening during the deep work session; and the requirements, what do I need while doing the deep work. Okay, here's an example. Location: I will work in my home office with the door closed. Duration: my deep work session will be 2 50-minute blocks for a total of 100 minutes with a 10-minute break in between to step outside. The structure: my phone will be on silent mode and I'll temporarily disable Wi-Fi on my computer while I work offline in a Word document. My goal is to write 1,000 words. The requirement: I'll drink water and have my headphones in, listening to focus music while I work. Now, once your deep work session is over, there is one final piece that ties everything together, a way to mentally close the book on your work day so that you can actually rest and recharge. Your brain is like a muscle. After you've done your deep work for the day, unplugging is important as it helps restore your concentration and energy levels so that you can function the next day. Sleep is a price you need to pay to do deep work. To ensure that we get good sleep and restore our attention reserve for the following day, Carl recommends that we incorporate an evening shutdown into our daily ritual. An evening shutdown involves making a plan to complete any unfinished tasks, goals, or projects the following day. When you get things off your mind, you restore your ability to sleep and do deep work the following day. Remember that taking a break is as important as working. And there you have it. Deep work isn't about grinding harder. It's about creating a system that lets you focus on the things that matter. With the right space, a solid routine, and a clear shutdown ritual, you can train your mind to dive deep and make real progress. It's your turn to build your deep work habit and see where they take you. Happy focusing. Thank you very much for watching. Kindly consider supporting this channel by subscribing.